Boxing Guru podcast. It is me, Sal, Mr. Boxing Guru. Again, big shout out to Los Anaya. That intro that you guys just heard, that's Los Anaya. It's Losanaya. Los Anaya, you could listen to them on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, wherever great music is listened to. Guys, thank you guys again for listening. I know it's been a rough couple of weeks. I've been away from my desk. The only reason why I've been away from my podcasting desk, so I call it at here at home, is because where I sit to actually do my podcast is the same place that I'm now sitting to do my regular 9 to 5. Like, of course, like we all know, this COVID-19 or coronavirus is thank God it's giving me a place that I still have a place to work. I know a lot of you guys don't, and that's very tough. But I'm working from home now, so a lot of times as soon as I'm done with work, and I know most people that actually have to work from home, their work has been very hectic. So the first thing I do, I shut it down, and I don't come back in this room till the following day. The good thing is that work is getting not slower, but things are going back to normal. And now I'm able to do the podcast. So again, thank you guys so much for sticking by, and hopefully I continue to do these more often than before. Again, like I said, I know there's no boxing going on, but there's no need for us to stop talking. Again, my podcast, of course, yes, it is about boxing, but more than anything, it is around stories. Again, this is not the podcast where you're going to get the blow by blow, the punch stats, the historical value to it. That's not it. I'm just going to talk to you about random shit, and this is what we're doing today. So yes, realistically speaking, there's not going to be any fights till July. I think California already canceled fights all the way through May. So we're being realistic. You still got to promote the fights and whatnot. So they say that we're going through the worst part of it right now when it comes to this pandemic. So realistically speaking, I think we'll see fights in July. Like I said, California is completely shut down till May, at least to the end of May. So personally, like I said, a big fight, I don't see it till at least July. Again, for it to get its proper promotion again, and then we still have to see how bad the economy gets hit, because we don't know how financially secure some folks are. Again, case in point, one of the, I guess, the 1099s that we know the most is our boxers. Boxers get paid for what they perform in the ring, and these guys aren't fighting. So, and I know that's most of the world. I mean, most of these announcers, I know, like my good friend Beto Duran, he's not working. He lives off of sports, so this shit is tough on everybody. So again, if you're going through it, I'm very sorry to hear that. Anything I can do to help, I mean, I'll be more than happy to. So really, again, realistically speaking, the next big, I guess you could say, big fight should be Canelo GGG3, and that's, for my understanding, before all this shit happened, that was, I guess, penciled in, or at least agreements had taken into place for the fight to happen sometime in September. Because, of course, Canelo has his May date and September dates. For the most part, May is out of the question already. So I really hope these guys just get it over with. Canelo, with the fresher legs, should be able to maybe this time convincingly beat a fading Triple G. Golovkin hasn't fought in quite a while since he arguably beat Deverenchenko. So hopefully we actually get this, he sings this goodbye song in his last big fight with Canelo, and they could finally put that to rest, and we move on. Again, I am one of the ones that actually still wants to see him. I thought the first two fights are extremely close. They were extremely close that I want to continue to watch that. We haven't seen both those guys, Canelo and Triple G, in a close fight ever since. Again, Canelo was very dominating against Daniel Jacobs. Has been, of course, knocked out Kovalev And again, it's pretty much done what he wanted with the rest of the opponents. But again, with Triple G, it was always very, very, very close. So hopefully we get to see a little more of that, and I mean that should be fun. But man, I mean, if you really think about it, guys, how disappointed are you in Golovkin? I was just talking on the phone with somebody. How can I say this without dropping any names? Because that's not what I do. But somebody in bigger boxing, especially around Triple G, and we talked about it, how at least to me, because I was that guy that was big on the home Mexicans for Golovkin. I made a shirt. I made multiple shirts for Golovkin, or that featured Golovkin, and he was someone that we needed at that time, because Golovkin was that guy that brought excitement across the board. Yes, we tried to claim him as Mexicans and whatnot, but of course we know, again, that was all bullshit. We needed somebody to cheer for. Chavez Jr. was out there getting high, and Canelo was out there avoiding folks. Or not avoiding, because it's not fair for Canelo either, because I'm sure he wanted to fight the fights, but he was out there being developed as the superstar that he is now. But again, I almost feel like Golovkin played Azar. He said in those catchy HBO interviews what we wanted to hear. Boxing a joke, good show, yes, all that shit. He was as much as they hate Borat, he was as Borat-ish as you could fucking possibly get. But fucking we ate it up. We love that shit. He was fighting mediocre opponents, again, to a certain point. But we ate that shit up. We loved it. And I still go back and watch his fights. I fucking loved it. I mean, what's not impressive about a fucking knockout? It was beautiful. His run was beautiful. But it almost seems like when the going got tough and he hasn't been part of the show. He was always out there willing to do that interview and chopped up English or whatnot, but it was fucking beautiful. He was always talking shit about Canelo. He was always doing this. He was doing that. And interview here, interview there. And all of a sudden, the guy gets a multi-million-dollar contract with the Zone, and the son of a bitch decides to not speak English anymore, or broken Spanish. All of a sudden, the guy's good. Now that he has that he doesn't have that obligation to promote himself, he kind of shut down and say, you know what, I'm getting a fucking translator. I'm not speaking I'm not trying to speak English anymore. It is what it is. Fuck it. Like, fuck you guys. I'm here. Give me my money and I'm fucking leaving. That's why I feel like I'm disappointed in Golovkin. I loved him as a fighter. I love what shit, because let's be honest, I'm really big on the background of boxing, getting a fighter to the point where they become a superstar. Because yes, we give all the credit. The fighter deserves all the credit in the world to perform the way he's performing in the ring. But you also have to give credit to again that matchmaker, that promoter, all the media guys, the guys that make them accessible to media, to be able to post them in those videos, to be able to market them right. And I think Golovkin was one of those fighters where, without a flag, because again, Golovkin wasn't that guy that with an embedded fan base, sort of like any Mexican fighter. He pretty much had to work from nowhere to become international star. I mean, and that's what we saw him do. I mean, we saw him fight in the UK. We saw him fight in Monaco, I believe it was. All across the US. That was fucking beautiful what they did. And they picked the right opponent. Again, I'm not saying cherry pick because that's not fair. They picked the right opponent at the right time to be able to make and build this fighter. Again, I think you just don't you don't come naturally talented like that. You're being built to be a certain way. Because of course, like we all saw in Golovkin, once you started fighting those real fighters, the knockouts stopped coming. We saw it versus Jacobs, we saw it versus Canelo, we saw it versus Deverenchenko. Now we've seen those type of fights. Of course, Guillermo Rose is going to roll right through them, but again, my thing is, I guess I'm going off track, but my thing is the disappointment in Golovkin, not because he lost, because you guys already know, I could give a fuck if a fighter loses. What I care for is show me your persona. How do you act after that defeat? And to me, even though I thought that Golovkin went 1-0 with or 0-1 with Canelo, because I thought he 1-0. I'm sorry, he beat Canelo the first fight, and then the second one I thought I had a draw or at least Canelo winning by a slight margin. But he almost acted like the defeated fighter. He wasn't there for the people that made him that were there. We saw that with merchandise. I mean, Golovkin was one of the guys that sold the most merchandise of any other fighter. And all of a sudden it stopped. People stopped playing the simple giving a fuck about his fights. And it's kind of fucked up because, again, he's a great fighter. In my opinion, he's a great fighter. But just disappointing how he turned out. Because, again, I don't give my back to a fighter when he loses. Kind of give my back to a fighter when he stops giving a fuck about his fan base. And at the end of the day, the fans matter. So, let's see how this shit ends up, especially after this coronavirus shit. I mean, we don't know how the zone's gonna react. Are they gonna come back? I mean, I know about a week ago I tweeted, "What the fuck am I doing with my DAZN subscription?" They're not tweeting they're not posting anything. They're not doing at least what Showtime is doing. What Showtime would almost made a fight party out for the Israel Vasquez and Marquez fights, the trilogy. They said, you know what, we're going to show this fight. We're going to show it, at a certain time. People started making a big noise about it. They actually ended up watching it. I guess, I don't know what you can call it, live or whenever it aired, on Showtime. So people made a fuss about that, but DAZN having the library to these fights instead of saying, okay, we're going to air something from the vault. I mean, shit, they're linked up with Golden Boy. They're linked up with Matchroom. Why not say, okay, we're going to release this old fight, let's say, again, from Golden Boy, De La Hoya fight, or I don't know, Mikey Garcia. I mean, whoever they have, old school fighter, or again, something from the vault from Matchroom, and say that way everybody could sit back and watch it at the same time. We'll score, we'll go back and forth, we'll talk about it. But they're not talking shit. On the contrary, what DAZN is actually doing, they're talking about their YouTube fight. So what makes me want to continue my subscription with DAZN when shit gets tough? See, I don't mind sticking it out when shit gets tough. But when shit gets tough and you're talking about YouTubers, I'm going to say, fuck you, DAZN. I'll see you when you guys fucking come back up. And what is DAZN going to do for these folks that bought a year subscription for $100, and all of a sudden for the next 3, 4, 5 months there's no content, there's nothing to watch, and even the fucking rewatching the fights, they're not that appealing. They're not catering to their audience. If you don't have fresh content to put out there, at least be creative with it. Do what Showtime, and again, I'm a big detractor of Showtime. I think Showtime is shit for the most part, but what Showtime did for that Izzy Vasquez and Marquez trilogy, I think it was beautiful. It got everybody came back together and started watching this. I thought it was great. I think DAZN should have done something like that instead of just kicking us out by reposting Ryan Garcia and a bunch of YouTube fighters. It's just not fair, and I hope it doesn't hurt them in the end. But I started seeing a domino effect where people are saying, okay, my $9.99 subscription is gone, or it's about to expire. Where am I going to pay $20 if I'm not getting shit? So people are canceling right now, and I really hope, again, this doesn't hurt DAZN as much, but I mean, there's no reason for me to suffer right now, for other people to suffer while they don't have jobs keeping a subscription that they're not using. What else is in the news? Oh, man. Bad month for Floyd Mayweather, man. Pretty much all March has been pretty fucked up. First is his baby mama, the mother of his children, was found dead. Something, mid-March or something like that. And actually, I think it was, around mid-March. They found the lady dead. A few days later, about a week later. And this is the same lady that she had gone to jail, if I'm not mistaken. She put him in jail because supposedly he came and beat her ass and Floyd says that she had a drug habit and whatnot. Pretty sad shit though. She's dead at the end of the day. Whether she's his ex, at the end of the day, that's the mother of his kids. His kids are suffering. So again, you kind of, the human connection gets there. Then of course, you don't know shit about boxing. Roger Mayweather dies again at the age of 58, still fairly young. Not sure what happened, but again, that's a toll on the Mayweathers. Pretty sad stuff to happen to Floyd. Sucks. It really sucks. So again, you start, that I know for a lot of us that don't like Floyd, you show a little empathy. And then just a couple of days ago, you hear about Yaya, I think is one of his daughters, the one that you used to always see him 24/7 just yapping her mouth. You find out that she stabbed a fucking other chick over some SoundCloud rapper called NBA Bookie or Rookie or some shit like that. NBA something. So there's a rapper that they called NBA or something like that. But she stabs the baby mama or some shit like that. The fact of the matter, she stabs the girl, and the girl's in jail. So now Floyd, not only is the mother of his kids dies, Roger Mayweather, which trained Floyd when Floyd Sr. was in jail for the most part, and made him and converted him to in my opinion, as a professional, what he is now. And then his daughter is now in trouble. Now, she could be facing multiple years in jail or whatnot. But that's pretty fucked up. So you want to feel for him because, again, at the end of the day, he's still a human being. Do you feel bad for him? Yes, I feel horrible because Roger died. Yes, the baby mama, that's somebody's, again, like I said, somebody's mother. But then Floyd's I think it was about a week ago, I saw an interview, and they started asking him about the COVID-19 situation, and his response to the whole coronavirus was, he said, again, I'm paraphrasing here, he says something about, well, I made smart investments, and flashes a wads of cash, and just puts them, in front of the camera. So he's not worried about it because, again, he's made smart investments. So right when you're wanting to make the connection, wanting to put some sort of human connection between you and Floyd, because all the shit that he's been going through, or at least his family, you kind of take it back because you see, just fucking New York, you have fucking hundreds of people dying by the fucking day because of this shit. And again, I get it, whether you believe in coronavirus and, the Democrats are blaming this or the Republicans are blaming that. It's still shit that's going on, whether these folks are a little older or pre-existing condition. At the end of the day, there's still fucking people dropping like flies. So, you gotta take this shit serious. You gotta have, compassion for human life, but when should I have compassion for Floyd? Fuck no. If he's acting like that towards, millions or hundreds of thousands of people dying at this point, fuck no. He's over there talking about fucking money while people are dying, including his own family, and this is what pops into his head. Great, I get it. Enjoy your fucking money. But don't expect me to be compassionate to you. As a matter of fact, don't try to play that fucking compassionate shit when you fucking, for marketing purposes, post a video of you trying or pretending to train your son. Pretending to be a good father, which obviously shows you're a fucking piece of shit of a father if your daughter thinks it's okay to stab people. Come on. It's not like you come from a thug family. The kid comes from, eating with a silver fucking spoon, and all of a sudden you're a thug, you trying to stab people? Fucking kid. You're one of the most comfortable and well-off kids in the U.S., and you're going to be a fucking thug? Calm the fuck down. So yeah, as far as compassion for Floyd, I don't have it. People shouldn't be stabbing fucking people. I think it's fucking horse shit. So yeah, the human connection is not there for me and Floyd, and hope his fucking little girl rots in hell for trying to stab somebody. at somebody's mom, somebody's daughter. You just don't do shit like that. Guys, that is going to be it for today. Just a short, brief, and sweet. I will post something, maybe, any questions I could answer, anything that I didn't answer today. Stay safe, wash your hands, wash your ass. Don't touch your face, wear a rag. Shout out to Eric Molinar for Molinar Design for sending me some face masks. Thank you so much. Guys, like I always say, thank you for listening. This has been the Mr. Boxing Guru podcast. Thank you. Saludos. Hasta luego.